Good evening, church. My name's Barry Brooks, and I wanted to share a couple of things with y'all. First, I think music is one of the best gifts that we possess to express our feelings. A great song can lift me up, and a sad song can really connect me with some of the sad times in my life. Also, I seem to gravitate towards songs that I was exposed to in my early years, teenage through early 20s. There were several songs I learned in youth group that I love to sing today because they remind me of those times. One of my favorites is actually a quote from Lamentations in the English Standard Version. Don't worry, I won't sing it because I sing best in church with everyone around me covering my weak and out of tune bits. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore, I will hope in him. Okay, if you look that up, you'll see the text is actually your faithfulness, and the song reads, thy faithfulness. But I like the use of thy in lieu of your. This simple song has been a comfort to me for years. There have been many times when I felt far, far away from the love of the Lord, and that his mercies would run out simply because I had needed so many of them. Just the thought that the Lord is my portion, and knowing that my hope in him is never in vain, is so reassuring that it helps me focus on him and not my actions that are separating me from him. I find it amazing that this text comes from Lamentations. After all, Lamentations is a sad book of the Bible, right? In fact, when I look at some of the notes on Bible Gateway, it says that it is a dark but beautiful book that reflects the pain and injustice and human loss. It's filled with crushing emotions, anger, desperation, fear, loneliness, hopelessness. If you are personally wounded when reading Lamentations, you might feel strangely understood or comforted. You know, they're right. I do feel comforted by reading that or by thinking of that song. But I find it so strange that one of my personal uplifting messages comes from a book in the Bible that was meant for Jews in exile in Babylonia. I guess they needed a little comforting. After all, I need a lot of comforting too. And it's a dark book, no question. Just a little earlier, the author says, "He has pierced my heart with arrows from his quiver. I became the laughingstock of all my people. They mock me in song all day long. He has filled me with bitter herbs and given me gall to drink." Pretty dark stuff. So I find it interesting that such great support comes from an area in the midst of great sorrow. I believe that's a strong message for us today, because I believe in times of great sorrow, we can find great comfort, but it's not easy. Secondly, I want to share something that I'm struggling with. I am by nature a rule follower. I tend to follow rules as they're explained or presented by a governing authority. I feel that Romans 13, 1 through 6 covers that for me pretty well. With the requirements that we have been asked to follow, I find myself sitting in judgment of those who will not follow the rules. As a nurse, I have a very good understanding of how viruses are transmitted. And that makes it even easier for me to judge individuals who choose not to follow the rules. I've really struggled with this lately, and it's been very hard for me. The thing that helped is I remembered a lesson a while back that we had a series of lessons on emulating Christ. Teacher recounted that Christ met people where they were at that time and encouraged us to do that as well. And of course, I remember what Paul says to the Corinthians in 1 Corinthians 9:19 through 23. Though I am free and belong to no one, I have made myself a slave to everyone, to win as many as possible. To the Jews, I became like a Jew, to win the Jews. To those under the law, I became like one under the law, though I myself am not under the law, so as to win those who are under the law. To those not having the law, I became like one not having the law, though I am not free from God's law, but I am under Christ's law, so as to win those not having the law. To the weak, I became weak, to win the weak. I have become all things to all people, so that by all possible means I might save some. I do this for the sake of the gospel, that I may share in its blessings. Powerful words. Well, I'll still be a rule follower, but I will try to use my superpower to meet people where they are. I am very grateful for the elders and ministers of Netherwood Park, who I feel have done their best to safely tend to our spiritual needs. I also really appreciate the many people who have done great work to keep this church connected throughout this pandemic. I'm very proud of the church and of the people that I call brothers and sisters through Christ Jesus. Thanks. Have a great night.